everyone, my name is Molly, this is Meet Me at the Bookshelf, and today I'm going to be talking about the 10 books on my TBR that I believe will earn a 5-star rating. 5-star prediction videos are some of my absolute favorite content here on BookTube. I love to follow the journey of other readers who are jumping into books that they think that they're really gonna love. So I thought it was only fitting for one of my very first videos to make a 5-star predictions for myself. So I have selected 10 books from my TBR that I believe are going to be getting very high ratings, hopefully 5 stars. I'm really excited to talk about them, so let's go ahead and get started. The first book I want to talk about is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. From what I know about this story, it's kind of a personal look just at her life and kind of her views on the world written in verse. I've heard especially the audiobook where Elizabeth Acevedo narrates it herself is supposed to be excellent. I am going to be reading this for my friend Rachel's Feminist as Fuck book club. It's the pick for this month, and I believe the live show will be on the 30th, so I will link her channel and information about that down below. So I'm super excited to dive into this one, and I think it's going to be 5 stars. The next book I have on this list is The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Lauren James. From what I know of this story, it follows a teenage girl who was born on a spaceship. Just her and her parents are the only inhabitants. And I believe fairly early on in the story, her parents die and she's left alone on this ship all by herself, and she gets some kind of transmission in that another ship will be coming in close contact with her, and so I believe she strikes up a friendship with someone on the other ship. That's about as much as I know in terms of plot, and this is an interesting choice for me because I'm not usually into sci-fi, but for whatever reason I just really gravitate towards this. I think I'm gonna love it, even though it's not in a genre I particularly read a lot from, so I'm excited to dive into this one as well. The next 2 books I think I'm going to give 5 stars to are actually Book of the Month selections that I selected last year. If you watched my 2021 goals video, I talked about how one of my main goals for the year is to catch up and maintain reading all of my Book of the Month selections from last year and this year. So the 2 books I selected from my Book of the Month picks that I believe will get 5 stars are The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin and Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. The City We Became, I believe, is an urban fantasy story centering around the New York City boroughs, and they are essentially like personified into actual characters. This sounds super interesting, and I know so many people absolutely adore this book. I've never read anything from N.K. Jemisin before, so I think this is a good place to start. And Red, White, and Royal Blue is an adult male-male romance centering around the first son of the United States and the Prince of England striking up a friendship and then a romance. This book is super hyped all over the internet. Everyone seems to love it. I love romance, so I think I'm gonna really enjoy this as well. The next book I think I'm going to love is Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. Again, this is a majorly hyped book here on BookTube and pretty much all over the internet. I have not heard a single bad thing about this book. Everyone absolutely adores it. I know it's queer. I've heard it's very atmospheric and spooky, and it just sounds overall like a great time, so I can't wait to read this one really soon. The next book I'm really excited to read, and I think I'm going to give 5 stars, is Bad Men and Wicked Women by Eric Jerome Dickey. This is another interesting pick because I don't know a ton about the synopsis. Of all the books on this list, this is probably the one I know the least about. All I know is it's the first book in, I believe, a companion series, and it's a little sexy, it's a little thrilling, so I'm excited to give this a try and maybe find a new favorite series. The next book on this list is one of my most anticipated books of the entire year, so it stands to reason that I'm probably gonna love it a lot, and that is Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. I've read the other 2 books in the series and absolutely love them, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to love this one as well. The story follows the 3rd Brown sister, Eve Brown, and I believe she is a chef and interviews for a job and like hits the interviewer with her car, and it's like their love story. It sounds really fun. Again, I loved the other 2 books in the series, so this is going to at least probably get 4 stars from me, if not 5 stars. I know that I love Talia Hibbert's writing. I love her romances, so I'm super excited for this, and it comes out on March 9th, I believe, so just another month or so until it's here, and I cannot wait to read it. The next book on this list is the book that I am most sure I'm going to be giving 5 stars to, and that is Across the Green Grass Fields by Seanan McGuire. This is the 6th book in the Wayward Children series. This is my favorite series of all time. They are short portal fantasy novellas following different students at a school. I cannot say enough good things about this series, about the writing, about the characters. I just love it so much. I strongly encourage anyone who has not read these to pick them up. I have not gotten to this one yet because I'm in the middle of rereading the series. I like to reread it every year before the new one comes out because they do release one every January. So I'm almost caught up with my reread, and then I cannot wait to dive into this, but I am like 99.99999% sure that this is going to get 5 stars. All right, so the next book I have on this list is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I have read one other book by this author. I read Home Before Dark, and I did really enjoy it. It wasn't a 5-star read. I believe I gave it 4 stars, but I did like it. Survive the Night, however, I do believe is going to get 5 stars. First of all, I love thrillers. I do enjoy his writing. It's set in the 90s and follows 2 college students who embark on a rideshare program together from campus to Ohio for the holidays, and I believe it's just kind of a suspenseful thriller about their road trip. And I believe the main character, she starts to get the feeling that the guy she is ride sharing with is a serial killer. So it sounds super thrilling, super intriguing, and again, this is one of my most anticipated reads for the year, so I can't wait to get my hands on this one as well. And the final book on this list is going to come as no surprise to anyone who follows BookTube in any sort of capacity, and that is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This is kind of like the most recent like BookTube darling. Everyone absolutely adores this book. It is a middle grade fantasy following children with different powers and kind of a social worker who comes to check up on this home and the man who runs this home. I've heard that the writing is beautiful, that the story is touching, that you just fall in love with the characters, and that it just leaves you feeling really, really happy and hopeful afterwards, which I think is something we could all use a little bit of. So I'm really excited to read this, and I know just based on everyone else's reviews that I'm going to absolutely love it, and it will probably get 5 stars. All right, everyone, so those are the 10 books I currently have on my TBR that I believe I'm going to be giving 5 stars to. I will, of course, film an update to this once I have finished. I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!